So welcome back. This time we're going to focus on adding some integers, adding positive negative numbers. Again, when you talk about whole number negative numbers, we usually call those integers as well. So it's another word that you sometimes will see. Integers are those positive or negative whole numbers. And don't forget about 0. 0 is also there, because remember, 0 is considered neither positive nor negative. So, let's look at adding some integers. One of the things I like to do as far as reasoning is I like to try to attach it to the real world. So a lot of times, when I think of adding integers, I can think of debt versus income. So if we have debt and income, we can kind of think of how those work in our lives. They work pretty much the same way on our paper here. So now look at a -4 plus a -6. What I'm seeing is I have debt and I have debt. If I think about that, if you have $4 of debt and you have $6 of debt, how much of debt do you have altogether? So if I kind of draw a picture of this, a lot of times I just kind of draw a line as my baseline of 0. A -4 means I would drop down 4. A -6 would mean I would drop down an additional 6. So I've dropped down, looks like a total distance of 10. But since I went below 0, we would attach a negative with that. So when I look at a -4 plus a -6, I would look at that as a -10. So when you have a negative and you have another negative, you're just going to have a bigger negative. So that stays negative on that. So don't get your rules confused, because some people remember a negative and a negative as a positive, but that doesn't apply to addition of integers. So a negative and a negative is actually a bigger negative. So for this problem, a -6 plus a 10. Again, if I look at this as debt and income, debt and income don't work the same way. Debt takes away from your life. Income adds to your life as far as money goes and things like that. So if I look at this problem, the -6 would tell me to actually drop down 6 below 0. But then I have to add 10 of income. So if I'm down here adding 10 of income, well, I've got to add another 6 to get back up, and then I have to add an additional 4 to get the total of 10. So adding 10 means the same thing as going up 6 to get back to 0 and adding 4 more. So what we see is our end result is actually just 4 above 0. So we end up with just what we call $4 of income. So when you have debt and income, this actually becomes a subtraction problem. So 10 minus 6 gives me 4. And what I've got to pay attention to is, do I have more income or more debt? And if I look at my numbers, since it's more positive, the remaining answer is going to stay positive. So you got to also pay attention to the signs. Since it's more positive, the final answer is going to stay on that side of positive. Now if I have a -8 plus a 5 plus a -2, since this is addition, I can kind of move things around. I could add, if I look at this, I can see this is debt, income, and debt. So I have debt and income and debt. Well, if I look at this, my debt would be easy to combine together to get a -10. Then I have this $5 of income still left over. So if I look at that problem from a drawing perspective, the -10 actually would mean, again, here's my baseline of 0. The -10 would actually tell me to drop 10 below. But then all you're going to do is move back up 5. So notice how we're still below 0. And our answer is just how far below 0 are we? Well, if this moved me up 5, I would still need an additional 5 to fill this gap in. So this gap here just tells me my result, which means since I'm still 5 below 0, our answer would be then a -5. So when we have debt and income, again, we want to subtract when you subtract, 10 minus 5, that gives me 5. But also got to pay attention that, was it more negative or more positive? And since it was more negative, I stay on the negative 5. I stay below 0. So again, when you see a negative and a positive like that added together, if you combine those, you're going to end up with 5 in the hole, or $5 in debt, which we just use a negative 5 for that. So that's kind of an introduction to how we add integers.